Well, there's a great look at the water tower here, one of the photogenic items here at Pittsburgh International Race Complex. It's time to go racing for GRIDLIFE GT, race number 2 of 4 on the weekend. Pick your manufacturer alliance. You get real fans of motorsport in here, following Toyota, BMW, Chevy, Ford, whatever battle du jour is. Honda's in here as well.
Yeah, GRIDLIFE started by a couple of Honda guys, so there's always a crowd favorite, and hopefully it's that.
Green flag and underway here in GRIDLIFE GT race 2 and championship battle. Look at this. AJ Hartman. Oh, we're going to be 3 wide into turn 1, maybe 4. Lock up there for Hartman down into the first corner, Adam.
Do you know if Hartman's got ABS on that car? I don't know.
think he does.
But he does have the downforce. You do have some speed even on the start at that. Eric Jensen way up front, right behind AJ Hartman.
Yeah, really strong start for Eric Jensen. And Chris DeLucia is going to try to go up the inside there late into turn 3. Didn't get it stopped.
Some of the better braking we saw last race was Chris DeLucia, but some of the faster min and max speeds was just behind him, a couple cars back by Hans Horpedal. If he can keep that car together, the problem in the last race was stuck in 4th gear. If he can keep that car together, he's probably got a good chance to make up a few spots here as well.
Yeah, and again, critically at the top of the screen, there is your championship battle. James Houghton is not here. He is not going to contest this championship any longer. And look at this battle into turn 7. Hans Horpedal sneaking through David Bamforth. That's critical. He was not very quick earlier in the weekend, and he's 11 points behind Hartman right now. And Hartman, with 1 more pass or 2 more races, is going to easily eclipse James Houghton, put him in the lead of the title.
We'll see what happens here in the next about 12 minutes before we see a white flag. But seen a lot of green to checker racing. We'd love to see more of that. Little dip on the outside left by Jensen, and DeLucia sneaks just by his right side.
Yeah, Jensen left plenty of space there. The model racer maybe left a little too much space, though. Got taken advantage of perhaps by DeLucia. Here comes Horpedal with a run down the hill into turn 15. Hans in that silver C5 is going to need to outperform Hartman this race, or at least the next 2, by a pretty fair margin to steal this championship title back. He went all the way out to California to rack up some points to hopefully do just that.
Jensen in front of him right now has a little bit lighter car, a little bit less wheel horsepower. We'll see how that affects him going up the hill. He gets a slightly better exit onto the front straight.
Hartman across the line, 2nd place now to Christian Aranja, who's just set sail again. Watch Hans Horpedal, 230 points, cuts it down from 11 to 8. And now that he's in 5th place, any other position changes are going to start to matter a whole lot more. So
AJ Hartman in a good spot for his car, though. He's in clean air, and all he's got to do is keep his head down. Christian is checking out a little bit, 3 seconds ahead. AJ just has to nail every single turn here.
Look at David Bamforth, almost 135 miles an hour.
Wow.
And the highest min speed of that lap was actually Chris DeLucia, 47 miles an hour at his slowest. Gary Wimble, 44. That was 2nd quick in the min speed section, but that's a fast Porsche.
Yeah.
And how about sector times on the opening lap? Look at Eric Jensen picking up 2 of the quickest sectors.
Pretty solid.
I don't think there's a fire link in the 606, but Jensen and DeLucia certainly do have them. And DeLucia quickest in sector 3, but Eric Jensen, really strong start there in the 184. And how about this speed trap there on that opening lap?
Wow, impressive mile per hour to Bamforth there.
Yeah, just really strong in that 404, looking really good.
Very slippery car, though. That's a car that should have decent top end. It doesn't have big crazy aero. It does have OEM, very smooth lines and underbody, and he's driven the car a lot, so pretty well piloted, I'm sure.
And AJ Hartman again battling up in 2nd place, has the highest cornering force, but not by a lot. Chris DeLucia right there, 1.46 Gs to Hartman's 1.48. Great insights there from Fire Laps. Down into turn 17 here on lap 2. Aranja's gone, but this is the battle for 2nd. Little smoke there. Maybe a tire rub from DeLucia. He is just ripping this M3.
Yeah. You got to be careful. Got to keep the tires under. The GLGT chat had some calls for fresh tires. They're burning them down. So
I don't see where Jensen went. He was 4th. He's dropped down the order a little ways, and we're going to see Horpedal move up a position here. Right there. Oh, no, not yet. Jensen's dropped somewhere.
Yeah, Jensen might be in.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. Nice strong start to the race, and will drop out of contention, and so will Jeff Zazoulis. But that is another point to Horpedal. 7 points separate the top 3 of the championship here. And Horpedal is closing on DeLucia and Hartman, and this is going to get really interesting.
Yeah.
Last time around, Horpedal ran a 152.807, and that was a little bit slower than DeLucia, but faster than AJ Hartman, and well off of Christian Aranjo, who just ran a 150.7. That's 3 seconds quicker than anybody else.
Hans trying to meld into this car all year, and he's been getting better and better as long as he can keep the reliability there. Like I said, last race, stuck in 4th gear. Obviously, it's looking a lot better than it did, and we'll see if he can keep it together for about the next 9 minutes.
Yeah, through the S's here on the backside of the course. I think, again, as soon as he gets by DeLucia, moves him up into, he's got 16 points now, so this next position would be worth 2 more. That puts him at 233. And then the next position, which would put him second, is a 4-point gain, which would put him right on the heels of Hartman. So
very close.
This is going to be a championship battle all the way to the end.
He has upgraded brakes and several other things since Laguna, and he said to me in between races, in between race weekends, that I don't know if I'll ever have another chance at a championship. I'm going to throw it all on the line. So if he can keep that car together, he might have some fun.
Well, we're going to have a full course yellow here with a couple minutes elapsed. So
see if I can pull up the data of what happened here.
Yeah, maybe does that belong to Jensen perhaps, because he's the only one. Yep, Eric Jensen's off at 17 there, Adam, just on the outside.
Yep, stationary.
So that's going to bring out a yellow. Should be a pretty nice, quick retraction here. And we've still got plenty of time left on the board to get a restart. And that plays right into Horpedal's hands here.
Safety trucks on their way.
Yeah, they got to go track direction, though, so it's going to take them a second to get back around.
That's a ways.
Yep. But this is going to change the math. There's Chris Schooler, by the way, in the number 39, making his first start in in GridLife GT.
He has ran Eibach GLTC before, but much more comfortable place with that E92 M3, running a little bit more horsepower.
And right at the yellow there, Chris DeLucia had gotten around Hartman. I didn't see if that had happened, if it was I don't want to assume it's a pass under yellow, but DeLucia had just gotten by him at the stripe. So you see already how that has affected the points.
We will see.
But they'll send the wrecker out there to go get Eric Jensen. Hope it's something easy. He was so excited about the trim that he was running in, just so much more power. And his car originally ran with the NASA category, I believe, so it got detuned pretty heavily, 2-run GLTC, and I don't think he would have chosen to detune it that much.
Although he ran it pretty lightweight in NASA, Texas, so it was low horsepower. I think the most he had said that he ever ran was 240.
Okay.
So he's about 100 horsepower up right now. Hopefully it's not a mechanical. Hopefully it's a simple fix for him overnight. What was his fastest lap time of this race? Did he have a decent spot for tomorrow?
It was a 158. I don't think he
so
really
he was still
had a good
battling
lap
to get there. But hopefully easy fix. He does have a lot of his car identifies as a Corvette. He usually pits with them. He's got all of his buddies around. So if there's anybody that can fix it, it's the gang in the paddock right now.
Yeah, I think one of the things that he had, I mean, this is a race car that, while it has an FRS skin on it, almost everything has been replaced and serviceable. And for, I think he's also switched over, does he have a hub conversion on that car to run different wheels?
I believe so. And he just recently upgraded to a quick change rear end because the fragile 4-cylinder rear end in here was giving him fits. He had issues with axles and other things. So hopefully we get a thumbs up. He's got a thumbs up for us. Thank you, Eric.
There, so unfortunate for Eric Jensen, and again, we'll hope that he'll get that.
Not seeing anything abnormal on the car, so it's definitely got to be under the skin that the issue is.
He could have just shut off. He tried to get off the course, but there's just not really a good place to pull off down there besides going uphill towards pit lane. So
unless you can make the rest of the way.
Yeah, if it just lost power.
Oh, I think I see the problem.
Oh,
that's an issue.
There's your problem.
You figured it out, Kyle.
Yeah,
Kyle, we figured it out. I'm seeing a missing hub.
Yeah, well, there is. Yeah, it's not supposed to look like that.
Nope, missing something. Missing something.
Well, I think we identified what the fix is going to be.
Man, we are great mechanics up here in the booth.
Oh, boy. That was almost comical.
Not for him.
No, not for him. But he's probably got parts to fix that, I think.
There's somebody here that's got a part.
Yeah.
So I'll go out there and I'll swap a knuckle off of somebody else's car and put it back if they need it.
If he needs
Peter Gramberg's right there. That's the same knuckle, I'm sure.
I got an FRS just sitting in the parking lot.
Kyle, we might need some parts.
It would not be the first time.
Send out a parts call notice, and there we go.
At least got his nice wheel back.
Hopefully that didn't go too far, but the safety team doing a great job here. Very impressed with their recoveries, and also very impressed with the lack of the need of too many recoveries. So thank you to the drivers for that. But great safety team here.
Was it clear that the hub actually broke? Because I don't see anything attached to that wheel.
Well,
so
we're looking at the outside of the wheel. I didn't see any hub inside of that. I saw a round circle, which is usually the back side of the hub. The race, you know, the actual bolts, you know, the studs were not there. So.
Yep. So cars coming across the line. We might be able to restart next time by if we get that car picked up on the
in the situation of this, they might pull him out of the car and get to a safe location and finish with a local yellow there. But looks like they got the flatbed coming out.
Yeah. So well, let's see what we got as far as schedule here. We've got Grid Life Rush Series Race 2, but that isn't until 3:35. It is currently 3:20. A little bit of time. You know, there's some time. So I want to anticipate a restart. Get too excited about it, but
I would say race control being led by John Raymond. He knows what we want, and he's going to try to give it to us.
Yeah, and again, with a little bit of time on the board. That's why we don't necessarily set these races up at exactly 15 minutes. If all goes nice and clean, it's usually 15 flag to flag, but again, with a little bit of extra time in the block, why not?
Yeah, we typically do 25-minute blocks for these 15-minute flag to flag races. Some of that is ate up by pace car laps at the start, lap or laps, depending on condition or racetrack, but yeah, hopefully we can get at least a green, white, and checker.
Now, if you're AJ Hartman or Hans Horpedal, you're nose to tail right now, 3rd and 4th.
Restarts are single file, and they have to stay that way.
What's your plan if you're Hans Horpedal? How much send are you giving it here in race 2 of the weekend?
Well, some of this depends on what I'm seeing when I see that green flag. Is it a green by itself? Because that means I got at least 2 laps. Is it a green-white? Because those can be waved together, and that signifies that you are on your last lap. Go now. I think I would probably, if I was Hans versus AJ, I'd probably stick real close to the back of him and try to get next to him somewhere if I can. Even getting next to a car like that is going to upset the aero. It's going to make him, you know, give up a little bit. If I was Hans, I'd try to get in front of AJ and the downhill aiming towards 17. But it's going to be tough. Not going to be easy. I'm sure AJ will not let that happen, you know, without a fight.
Yep. And of course, note also the points at the top of the screen. We mentioned James Houghton's not here. That number 238 is not going to go away.
Not for long, Canada boy.
No.
Miss you.
And Hartman and Horpedal are just going to add to their totals.
Wow,
nice,
great
quick
recovery.
cleanup.
Here we
Great
go.
work, guys.
Yeah, they've got a sling strap there. Looks like they grabbed the axles in the front and rolling. They'll be off track in just a moment, I'm sure.
Yeah, I think we could probably slow that pace car down. We're only at turn 12. It's going to be close.
You know John's calling for it.
Yep, so.
Nobody's better at this than race control John. And he's got those cool Ray-Ban sunglasses.
Makes you look extra cool. All right, coming up over the crest here. Usually they shut the lights off on the downhill run. I was the pace car driver here last year, Adam, so yeah, I know all about that.
Yep, and we've got pace car B right now, Juliet driving the pace car Barbie, as she has proclaimed herself.
And the white flag has been pulled in from the corner worker there.
I think we're going to go here. We'll see what we get, though. Maybe 2 laps, maybe 1. We'll know in just a minute.
Yep, so.
Lots of cutouts at a track like this, too. You can hide in a good spot, but I don't think Eric had a whole lot of ability to hide when you've only got 3 out of the 4.
Well, Christian Aranaha is going to just set sail again, I think, with the pace that he's been running, but it's not over till it's over. And DeLucia, Hartman, Horpedal still chasing championship fights. As far as DeLucia's run here in the title, I think it's worth mentioning, because we're only showing the top 3 in the championship standings. I don't think that he's mathematically out of it by any stretch. It's just the math gets a lot harder. He was 30 points behind AJ Hartman, so it will take more effort to win, but it's certainly possible.
And the pace vehicle is in. Pace vehicle. I think it identifies as a truck. So we'll see right now. Let's see what the flag is for us in just a second. What a great shot. Project Prime is doing amazing work here.
Green flag, and it is going to be a green flag
straight
only.
Green, 2 laps at least. They can keep it clean into turn 1. We'll have some racing. Hans out far right.
Past AJ Hartman for 3rd, and if he could get 2nd place, that would probably be the championship lead.
Looked like David Bamford dips him outside right, but everybody continued clean through 1 and dropping down into the high-speed left-hander here.
And here comes up the inside is that Gary Wimble on Hartman. Tight squeeze down there on the downhill run. Aranaha leads. DeLucia 2nd, Horpedal 3rd, AJ Hartman. And Gary Wimble popped out there, P5.
Big reshuffle here on the restart. We got a couple laps to play with, too. This is going to be fun to watch.
Yeah, look at Alex Moss.
Very different cars. A lot of different cars. Alex Moss sticking to the outside left, keeps it together.
And again, Aranaha with that great restart. DeLucia to 2nd. And again, with Hans Horpedal making that move to third place, and with Hartman dropping to fourth, that's going to switch their spots next time they come back around. Here's Adam Ulrich on the outside of Alex Moss. Really tight squeeze here between the S2 and the Corvette.
Great to see such perfect straight line parity between two very different cars, and fun to see. They both raced together in TC. Both have a lot of street mod experience as well in similar cars or the same car in Ulrich's case. And Dipsy outside left, big smoke cloud, a lot of dust. Yeah, starting to dry out here.
Yeah, a little wiggle there for Adam after he got in there a little hot. So
great driving there, though.
Yeah, gathered it back up.
See what is up front with the Horpendal and DeLucia battle.
Yeah, down into 17 here. And
what a fast section right here. My car's out of gear right there.
Ooh, here comes Hartman up the inside of Wimble. This is going to be critical this weekend. It could come down to a single point, and Hartman needs every single one he can get. He's going to get back by Gary Wimble and clear the number 11 across the stripe here. And Wimble's going to cross him back over and steal the spot back, I think, as they come up the front stretch. And Wimble is going to beat him to the line.
White flag is out.
One to go. Horpedal takes, well, actually, they're tied right now for second in the championship.
Wow.
Wow. And this is the last lap. Christian Aranja well out front, but the battle for third, this is the difference between Hartman holding on to second or being P3.
And Hartman with the big aero cars we talk about, probably a slight disadvantage with somebody in front of him, but he's been driving amazing this weekend, very clean. And but Gary is in a good spot right here. You know, maybe a little bit of advantage for the cars behind him versus Gary, but then Gary gets those last two straightaways.
Yeah, actually, once they cross the line there, Hartman dropped to 232 points, so that is going to officially swap the lead of the championship if it stays this, or at least the prospective lead of the championship, with Houghton still clinging to 238 points in his absence. But Hartman's not giving up just yet. So coming back around to finish their last lap, AJ Hartman trying to poke around on Gary Wimble.
Entering the high speed here, see what happens.
And a big curb jump there on the run to 12. And have a look at this, just as the min and max speeds a moment ago. David Bamforth again, 136 miles an hour for Bamforth. And Hans Horpedal, 133 miles an hour. Again, really quick, but here comes Hartman down the hill on Wimble. Needs to make this pass if he wants to at least cling to Horpedal for second in the title fight going into tomorrow and the end of the race weekend, the end of the season. Here comes Christian Aranja up the hill for the final time. It'll be 2 for 2 for Christian Aranja in the 606, and the Thunder Bunny Supra wins both GLGT races here on Saturday.
Chris DeLucia in P2. He'll be chased by Hans Horpedal right there. Hans got the car back underneath of him. Feeling good, it looks like.
Ooh, Bamforth.
And it looks like we're going to have, yep, Gary. And hard to tell who got that. Probably Hartman.
Yep. By a tenth of
a second. They were on the line together. We couldn't see quite from that angle.
Yeah, but that will stay P5 for AJ Hartman. Not the race he really needed to keep his championship hunt alive.
But it looked like a fun one. That looked like an enjoyable way to spend 2 laps. The fight is part of the reason that we're here.
And here's a look at the run of the line here. Watch David Bamforth pop out, big slipstream here at him, almost had him.
Catches that draft, and yeah, photo finish is not needed there. Hartman's got it regardless of transponder placement. That is one thing that we don't talk about a lot, but you can put the transponder in the back or the rear, and if you have cars that have them opposite, sometimes the digital results are wrong and the photo results are needed, but it looked like Hartman got that one.
All right, with that, GRIDLIFE GT Race 2 is complete. Let's have a look back at the highlights here from this race. And again, this started with a pretty frantic start. Look at Eric Jensen on the outside, 3 wide on the run to turn 1. Christian Aranja bobbling down the hill, trying to run away from AJ Hartman and Eric Jensen. Jensen ended up having an issue later in the lap. All the while, Hartman and DeLucia battled for second place, much like they did in the first race. But because of Jensen's stricken car at turn 17, brought out the full course yellow for a hub failure on the 184. Hopefully that he can get that set. A 2-lap dash to the end is what decided this one. Again, Christian Aranja sprinted away. Alex Moss and Adam Ulrich just door to door, incredibly close, running down the order. And Christian Aranja was able to come home with a Race 2 victory here in GRIDLIFE GT in the Thunder Bunny Toyota Supra. GRIDLIFE GT Race 2 complete.